The last class we have discussed about system calls. Today we will discuss about types of system calls. So there are 5 types of system calls: process control, file management, device management, information maintenance, and communication. So let us look at each one of them, starting with process control. So there are system calls for end and abort. So whenever a process terminates normally or whenever a process terminates abnormally, there are system calls available. Also, when a process needs to be executed, it must be loaded into memory, and there are system calls for loading and executing the process. Also, there are create process and terminate process system calls. So a process can create other process or other child process, and there are system calls to terminate the child process also. Similarly, the parent process can also be terminated with help of system calls. There are also get process attribute and set process attribute. Now when we think of creating new processes, and also we should be able to control the execution of those processes. Therefore this control requires the ability to determine and to reset the attributes of the processes. So some of the attributes includes the priority, the maximum allowed execution time, and so on. So get attribute and set process attribute system calls are available for that. Next is wait for time. Again, we may need to wait for the process to complete its execution. So system calls are available for that. Also, we may want to wait for a particular event to complete. So system calls are also available for that. And similarly, the process on completion may send a signal to the system informing that it has completed its execution. So signal system call. Also allocating and free memory. So the process will be allocated memory in the initial phase, and also when it completes its execution, the memory will be released. So again system calls are available as a part of process control. Coming to file management. So we can create a file, we can delete a file, system calls are available for that. Once a file is created, we can open the file, and when the work is done, we can close the file. Also, if you want to read the file, write the file, or reposition the file pointer from the beginning to somewhere in the middle or to the end, it is also possible with the help of system calls. We can also get file attributes like size of the file, date of creation, and we can also set file attributes like changing the file permission. Next is device management. So there are several devices in the system, starting with the main memory, then the hard disk, then the printer, and so on. So every time the process needs a device, it will request for the device, and once the work is over, then the process will release the device. So system calls are available for that. Again, we can consider virtual device like the files which can be read, write, and reposition. We can reposition the file pointer, or if there is a printer, we can do write operation on the printer also. So system calls are available for that. Also, before starting to use the device must be attached. So system calls are available for that, and also once the function is over, then it can detach the device. Also, it can get and set device attributes. Device attributes can be the printer status, whether it is ready or not, and also it can set the device attributes. As I have said with the example of file, it can set the file permissions. Information maintenance. There are system calls which are used for transferring information between the user program and the operating system. One such example is to return the current date and time, or we can also get the time and set the time and date. Also, there are system calls for returning other information like current users, the version number of operating system, or the amount of free memory or disk space. So these are some of the information maintenance system calls, and we can also get the device attributes as well as we can set the device attributes. Next is communication. So this involves creating communication connection. So the processes may want to communicate with each other. So there are two ways of communicating: message passing and shared memory. For that, they need to create the connection before they start the communication. Similarly, when the communication is over, they will be deleting the connections. Generally, in case of message passing, the process will be communicating with the another process with the help of the process ID, and when the source process wants to send a message to the destination process, it will use the process ID and the message, and then it will send over the message passing system, and the system is responsible for transferring it to the destination. Also, it will help operating system transfer status information. Now, what type of information? It can be information that the transfer is complete or the transfer is a fail in case of some error. So this type of status information can be sent to the operating system with the help of system calls. Also, when the processes are not in the same devices and there are two processes communicating which are in separate devices or separate systems, then we need to attach the devices remotely, and also once the communication is done, we need to detach the devices. So again, system calls are available for that. So these are the 5 types of system calls available. Now let us look at the rules for passing parameters for a system call. So the first method is with the help of stack. So the parameters, now what type of parameters? As we have discussed in the case of standard API, the parameters can be the file descriptor, it can be the size of the file. So there can be multiple parameters associated with a system call. So the parameters can be passed by the first method, that is using a stack. So the parameter will be pushed onto the stack, and the stack pointer can be used to pop out each of the parameter from the stack. So that is the first way. Second method is the easiest one, which is by use of registers. And the third method is with the help of this particular diagram, we can understand that a block of memory will be storing the parameters. And as an example here, if you see, X is that particular address, starting address where the parameters are stored, and this X is put in the register. That is the address of X is put in the register. So this is the address of the block where the list of parameters for the system calls are available. So initially load address X. So load address X, from where it will get the address from this register. It will take the address from the register and it will load the list of parameters from that particular block, which is marked by this particular X stored in the register, and then the system call can execute by considering the parameters. So these are the 3 ways of passing parameters for system call. So that's all for now. Thank you.